Hey everybody, we're late as per usual. How are you? Wow.
Last minute running around.
People are here.
Trying to get cameras that got knocked out of position back in position because we didn't realize until we got ready to start and went, oh no.
And right now no one's hearing what we're saying. They're just waiting because it says 0. And I see all your comments. So welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here. Cheryl is, you're going to go to Park Celebration? Absolutely. Enjoy if you are out and about. There we go. See, did you see the moment it popped up?
I did not.
Yeah, it went from 0 to people.
Ah, okay.
So that's how I know you're actually hearing me, but a few minutes late. I'm going to so what we're going to do, let me move that so you're not just seeing the handle. I don't even think we plugged that in, but we'll find out, won't we? It's an exciting day.
I don't think it is.
We will make it work. We have some stuff here.
I can go plug it in.
So, I have a new juicer. Will you grab the juicer? And we're going to use it. And then we're going to make veggie burgers from the pulp. Yeah, let's just get that. So this is, let's go this way. Oh. This is not just about a juicer, but I figured I'm a combine life events kind of person. So I wanted to show you this juicer because I've had a juicer before and it was really hard to clean. And this one is not hard to clean at all. So I am not saying you need to juice. I am not saying Dr. McDougall says you need to juice. I am doing some juicing now because A, I got this juicer. B, I wasn't feeling well and it was kind of nice. So
she juiced her way through her not so feeling good time.
Through my little summer virus, and that was awesome. And hey, Apple and Rebecca and Mona. I think there was Jill, Ann, let's see, Mirren, Rebecca, Sherry. Excellent. I'm glad that you're here. Oh, hurricane news. Where are you, Sherry? Where are you located? Ready for cooler weather? Yeah, we had 2 days of cooler weather, so that was exciting. So I'm going to let Cheryl talk to you. So I'm going to show you how the juicer works. In the back is a little thing where we're going to collect pulp. I'm going to make a simple carrot beet juice. But guess what? My hands aren't red yet because I need to peel the beets. I'm going to peel the beets and cut them into pieces so you can entertain the comments. And then I am going to show you how to clean it up and everything too. But you know how to peel a beet. You cut off the ends and then you peel it. And if you're scared of your hands being red like mine are going to be, you could wear gloves or put oil on your hands.
Wow. Cherie says it's 107 in Texas.
Yuck.
Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. Shelly says time for carrot dogs and crab cakes.
Woohoo!
Yes. Let's see where we're at.
And just so you know too, I'm going to talk you through making a burger with or without pulp. So if you're like, I see that juicer, I don't have one, you're not going to be excluded. But at the Chapel Hill Plant Pod, we were at the Indian buffet and someone was saying, we just got a juicer, we don't know what to do with the pulp. So here we are.
So here we are, going to make our version of actual veggie burgers.
Well,
kind of.
I wouldn't say, this is not a copycat. It just happens to be full of actual veggies.
Yeah. Let's see, Joanne says, I am going to make some shredded tofu chicken fingers with a marinade of liquid aminos, tahini, minced garlic, and some chicken bouillon.
Yum.
I may substitute tempeh if the tofu hasn't thawed yet.
I feel you.
Yeah. And in Appalachian, Ohio, Joanne says it's only 82 degrees.
I'm so jealous.
Very jealous, very jealous. Let's see who I said. Kelly's here.
Yay.
Joanne Lakes.
Woohoo, Joanne, we miss you.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Are you driving to Florida in 2 weeks to come hang out with us? Cheryl, tell everybody about the meetup in case they don't know.
Right. Okay. So if you're just tuning in, we're getting ready to make some veggie burgers out of juice pulp using this fantastic new juicer that we got. That's super easy to clean. We are going to be going to Florida for a workshop. We're going to be in Florida from the 12th on. So on the 14th,
a Sunday, right?
A Sunday at 1 o'clock in Winter Garden, we are going to have a little meetup at the Cilantro Indian restaurant there in Winter Garden. So if you are interested and would like to join us, shoot me an email at support@healthyslowcooking.com, or you can go onto Heartbeat and go into events, locate the event on the 14th, and you can RSVP that way, and we can make sure to get you any information that you need to meet up on that day. And they do have vegan options there. They do not have oil-free. If you are strict to the oil-free and you just want to come have a tea with us, like, that's great. You don't have to eat a meal. Just come socialize with us. Just come meet us and say hello. That is fine with us. And so it's going to be a big time. Guarantee you, big time. There'll be lots of laughing and hugging, I'm sure. And
as per usual.
Yeah. Let's see. And then let's see. While we're there, we're going to be kind of a lower key Florida trip than we normally do, because we will be doing a lot of work while we're there, because the workshop that we're going to during the week is going to be very hands-on.
And there might even be more short video coming up and stuff like that.
It may actually have a lot of little shorter, like, reels and things like that come out of that workshop. So that's all going to be super exciting. And then, of course, on the tail end, then we're going to visit my mom and dad. Because it's such a short visit with my mom and dad, we're not going to do any kind of meetup in Ocala or Gainesville this time. But we will definitely put that on the books for the next time that we are in Florida to try to get something that way. But if you're a Gainesville or Ocala person and you want to come down to Orlando for the day or Winter Garden, just come on down and we'll be happy to see you on the 14th. Those are lovely beets.
My hands, you can see one is more red than the other. It washes off. It's going to all be okay.
All right.
All right, yeah, a new juicer. I'm excited. So let me show you how this goes together.
Plug that other thing in.
Okay. So it looks complicated, but this whole thing just slides out. Woo, hitting the camera. And this comes out. This is where the pulp goes. So if you're doing a lot of juicing, which I don't do, you might have to empty this a little bit more. This is a pretty smancy blender. Juicer. It's a juicer, not a blender. Note to self. I did go look on their site and I saw they had a coupon for $100 off. It's not a cheap appliance. I think it's between $400 and $500. No one's telling you to buy a juicer. If you're looking for one though, I've been pretty happy with this. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm not saying we all need juicers, but if you're looking for a juicer, this Hiram is really pretty awesome. So then this, I'll show you when I take it apart, but this comes off. And what's kind of cool is that when we clean it, this is like a little plunger. This is like where I can put all this stuff. I don't have to put it in one by one. And I'll even show you, this just comes out and it separates. And that's it. So it's really easy to clean because of this and easy to put together. It has some cool little things, like you snap this off so you can get stuff that's going to be stuck in there. And so I have an older juicer, a slow juicer, that was just a pain to clean. And then this comes off and you can clean inside of there too. So I feel like they were pretty thoughtful. So to put it together, you just kind of put it in here, turn. You look at where the arrow is. I always mess this up. And we put it to the unlock, to the lock. And then it goes in like this. And then there's a little part here that comes on. That's it. So it's pretty easy peasy.
So Liz had a question. She was wondering if you washed them really well, could you leave the peel on the beets?
Probably, but I don't know. You know, do I have the juicer cookbook anywhere? Because I am fairly new to juicing, honestly. I'm going to look and see if I can find it, if I can. If not, if somebody knows for a fact, but since I'm going to use it for burgers, I don't really want to have that tougher skin on it. You see it?
I think it's on the table where your computer usually is.
Okay. We'll find out. There's a really nice big book that goes with it. This is the Meomat book.
Oh, sorry. Well,
I don't know where I put it. Right now we're also taking everything and tossing
hot
it up in
mess.
the air. So there's more chaos over here than normal.
it is a hot mess.
I'm looking through, because I'm wondering if I had left it in your car, because I was looking through some of the recipes at one point.
I didn't see it in the car because I took everything out of the car.
Oh, I'm going to kill myself wandering around over here because we've got piles of things for the Goodwill and we have only just begun. And I am literally, my head is just, oh, here we go, just about to explode. Through no fault of anyone else's. So yeah, I found all the stuff.
Goody, yay.
And I managed not to hurt myself. There's like little walkways, and that's it. So this recipe book seems huge, but it is in different languages. So it's really,
Wow, not a whole lot of English.
it's really this. This isn't, again, in all the different languages. Let's see. In this, it's, you know, so it's talking about all this enzymes and vegetables and stuff I don't really know that much about. So you should talk to someone else. But they do encourage you to peel your citrus fruits, peeling and cutting into smaller pieces. Peel the outer skins off of fibrous ingredients such as ginger and cut long ways. I just assume beets are pretty fibrous. I left the carrot skins. That could be a me thing.
Is a beet a root vegetable?
Yes.
It said something about root vegetables.
I just read that.
Oh.
This is how Cheryl listens to me. I say
It's been
something
like
and
this.
then she asks me again exactly the thing I've told her.
It's been like this all day.
It's a very merry day, you guys. We are fine, but I am having some anxiety, and because literally there's almost no room on the floor in
There's a
3 rooms
pathway.
to walk, and it's necessary for us to get everything out and purge and clean, but it is, I guess, for lack of a better word, triggering for me in that it triggers a lot of anxiety and uncomfortableness.
I need to get everything put in boxes and carried out to the car, but it's triggering her sound sensitivity. So I can't even put anything in boxes because her sound sensitivity is going off. So I'm going, I don't know what to do.
And that is totally valid. And I know. And so, like, I'm thinking after we do this live, so while I was trying to get all the newsletter done and this, that, I couldn't have any extra noise. I also have a headache. And also Max is just kind of acting a little weird and extra old today since we got back, even though we took him on I think we took him on
too long yesterday.
But like
was just
quarter
too
of
much.
a mile today is what we went. Like for the whole live, it was 1.5 miles.
But yesterday he went almost 2 miles. 1.5 miles.
1.5 miles.
Yeah.
But okay, so that fruits with thick rinds: pineapple, dragon fruit, melon, watermelon, pomegranate. Though I have seen a video where somebody juiced their watermelon peel. So I don't know. Again, this is not my area of expertise at this point. Yeah. One day I may have all this information.
We are super new to this for sure.
but I've juiced a little before, and one of the things that I like is, especially when it's so hot and I'm so dehydrated, I'm not just drinking juice all day long, but it is nice to have one in the morning to wake up. I feel like I get a lot of nutrients. I feel a little bit of energy. I have no scientific background behind this, but oh, here we go. Does it?
And I love a really nice fresh squeezed orange juice.
And it
like
tells
really,
you
really a lot.
It tells you all the nutrients and things. So don't listen to me. Look here. But a long time ago, like a bazillion years ago, I worked at a diner in Tribeca in New York, and they made carrot juice. And oh, that's right. There's the cup. We can also put it in this. That's even bigger. So it comes with this little cup to put stuff in, and this opens and closes. I'm going to look down a minute, and then I'm going to start putting stuff in juicing, then we'll talk more. And Liz, I know that I gave you the biggest non-answer ever. Oh, Vegana got a Ninja Creami to play with. Can't decide what else to make besides the dull pineapple whip. Don't forget, go to healthyslowcooking.com. At the top, there's Ninja Creami. Click Ninja Creami, go to Ninja Creami recipes. Also on YouTube, I have some other recipes. Oh, Angela's here again. Yay. Okay, good. Apple knows. Am I saying it right? Harum?
Huram, I think. Huram.
Delightful happy juicer. It's very quality. I've juiced at least 10 times in it. And
I haven't had to clean it once. So that tells you right there how incredibly easy this is to clean, because I have not been asked to even clean it one time.
And Valerie says, I don't have that juicer and I never peel. Sometimes there may be some beets in my fridge for a little tinge longer than they should be. So sometimes I choose to peel for that reason too. 51 degrees, CJ. I'm feeling
know what time of the year to come.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little side-eye. Yeah, I didn't, because I saw that there were some inexpensive trips like in July or August, and I thought, I wasn't sure what the weather would be like. Hey, Betsy.
It sounds perfect.
Yeah, and Rebecca leaves the skin on. Excellent. Again. Oh, great. And Angela says it's okay to leave the skin on as long as they're really clean. And my main goal with this is to add some red tinge to my burgers. So I'm good with that.
It's also because she knows she can get beets in me that way, and I won't just eat them on their own. Except if they're in Ethiopian food.
Right. Oh, good. Thank you. And I put down in the description, I put a link to them and whatever was on their website. I said this a discount that may not last. So, oh, we're having a rotten summer. I'm only just out of my thermals. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I wish we could trade
right?
just a day. We would both be so much happier. Oh, hey, Jennifer, it's good to see you again. Let's see. Nice creams in my juicer. Yeah, Apple says I make nice creams, and I think I'm going to do that soon because you can put frozen fruit through it, and it's kind of like a Yonana sort of machine, which is probably more powerful, probably better. I've not used it yet.
Go back up to that comment.
No, I have them.
If they don't work for her, she can hear through noise canceling headsets. Mm-hmm. I don't know if her eyes translate what the noise happening is or what, but she can hear.
I trained as an orchestral musician for 20 some years, so my hearing is extra hearing.
And my hearing, I don't even need head canceling earphones. I can cancel stuff out pretty easily.
Especially when I'm talking. It's okay. We're both a little stressed about we're trying to get everything, all the purging we've been putting off for 12 years, we're doing this month to get ready for Sheffian and Oz to come. So that's an us problem. Ooh, Tanya says, my kids think this tastes like sour apple candy. 4 celery ribs, 2 green apples, 2 kiwis. Yum.
Actually, that sounds delicious.
Hurum. Thank you,
Hoorah.
Apple. Cheryl was right. I was wrong. See, I say that publicly.
Well, I said the so I was technically not quite right, too.
Apple says, sometimes you feel like a peel. Sometimes you don't. That's awesome. Oh, great. Jennifer says, I just bought a smaller version, 100 off applied. Excellent. I have an old juicer I hardly use, too hard to clean. Oh, great.
Yes.
And sometimes people send me things, and I just don't want you to think I'm trying to make you buy all the things,
Yeah.
but I'm going to show you all the things because some of you are looking for a juicer. So the old one I had, let's see if it has a brand name on it. Slow Star.
Literally,
Star.
things just show up at the front door. Like,
And it's
I go, did you order a juicer? She's like, no, but I think I know what that's from.
right. And Namajay too. I've heard all kinds of good things about it. And so the difference, I did do a tiny bit of reading. So this is as kind of like an unboxing. There's a little more pulp in this juice because there's not one of those strainers underneath the two things we put together. I'll show you again when I'm cleaning it. And Namajay does have one. That's going to make it a little harder to clean.
Oh, you talk about the centrifugal force thing?
No, it just actually has like a little, kind of like a mesh.
Oh, okay.
So, but what you could do, look at this.
Oh.
Right? So if I was going to serve something to Cheryl, I would do this and then throw all the pulp into my juice. It's exactly what I would do. And this strainer's looking funky. It's going back to the back to the dishwasher. Okay. So that's the difference, and that's why this might be just a little bit easier. So you have the Huram horizontal juicer. Okay. But so here's the deal. This little cap comes up, and let's see if we can see it. It might be a little close. Oh, that's not too bad.
It's perfect, actually.
Sorry, I have a whole bunch of things out for possible burger stuff. And I'm going to take a drink of water. Okay, so it says the fill lines to about here. I'm going to put some beets in there. Carrots.
What were you doing the other day? And I said, isn't that a fill line on that?
I said it was a suggested fill line. But this one, since I don't know juicers as well, hey, Sherry Taylor. This is the Huram, and it's the big one. It's not the smaller one, because they asked me which one I wanted. And I think I said, I don't know. And they're like, have this one. I'm like, okay. All right, so I have more stuff in here. I'm going to rinse my hand off. I'm just going to close this. Boy, it's hard to navigate my mouse with my left hand.
Do you want to wash your hands real quick?
I am, but I'm going to do this first so people don't have to wait. So press the on button.
Just on?
Just on. And in fact, what you'll see is juice fills up here. Until this is lifted, it's going to stay here. And I believe that helps the oxidation.
It's got that new appliance smell.
A little bit, yeah. It's all been cleaned multiple times and things like that. I'm just going to leave my hand here so I can put in stuff through the little hole at the top as it goes down. There's no need for both of us to get beady hands. I'll get all the beets in there first. And if this right now it's just barely here. So we're not seeing it. We'll see it up in here.
It's quiet.
For appliance in my kitchen.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Yeah. It's not too bad. And I do like that it's pretty big. Now, I did try to read a little bit of comparisons between this and the Namajay. And honestly, other than that filtering stuff, it seems to be pretty comparable. If somebody else knows some really good, like, oh no, but you should be thinking about this or that, go ahead and put it in the comments if there's, but this is easy. Like, I was sick, didn't feel good, and I still made juice every day because it just wasn't that big a deal.
And cleaned it while she was sick. So again, That's how easy this thing is to clean.
So it's just starting to edge there. You see where that beet color is? So it's going to keep filling. And I like that I don't have to babysit it. Tanya says J2 is major quiet. You can juice with someone sleeping in the next room. For us, this is really pretty quiet. This is pretty, you know, carrots and beets are harder things. I'm going to rinse this out. Rinse my beet hand off. And one thing I would say, if you're making burgers, since that's what we're doing in specific, I would not juice celery, Swiss chard, beet greens, or beet green stems, because we don't want to have that hard stringy part in here. So what I would do is either juice some celery first, rinse it out, and then do it, or juice some celery later if I want celery in my juice. So hopefully that helps. Okay. How are we doing? We're about to here. And then I have, oh, that's funny. Tanya says, sometimes I cheat on my Creami because I have the sorbet attachment for the J2. I would think any of those mixtures frozen in ice cube trays would work fine in this. And maybe we'll do an experiment next week. Okay. So we still have a little room. We're probably going to have to let a little out. Ryan, because someone sent me a juicer and I didn't feel good, that's why I decided to start juicing. So I don't have any real life-altering thing. I will say I was juicing right before the pandemic, about 2019. In the summer for breakfast, I would juice some, and I just felt really hydrated. And so it gave me a little more energy. Yeah, it's the pulp we're going to use in the recipe, exactly. Okay, so it's getting full, so I'm going to go ahead and release this to get some of the juice out. I can let it all out, or I can just stop it wherever I want. I was reading somewhere there's a thing where if you let it stay in here, I guess it gets a little less oxidized, but I don't know the science behind all this. Oh, Mona's saying, those of you who juice regularly, what are the best veggies to use to keep the cost down? I would say seasonal vegetables. I don't know why I have this. Fix my hair. It looks like I have some sort of weird frizz. Yeah, that's better than the other. You can buy really big things of carrots, like really big things of carrots at Costco. I just don't have the room to store them. Oh, and that's another great point. Things that yield lots of water, like cucumbers. Okay, I think all my stuff's done there, but I still hear a little bit inside. We've got lots of pulp.
It's about to come out the top.
It's going to be okay. Hear it kind of crunching? No more crunching.
No more crunchy.
Okay, so let all the juice come out.
What would the reverse button be used for?
Oh, that's a great question. So there's a button that goes like an on and off switch. One's on. Reverse is if something got stuck and it just wasn't going.
Oh, okay.
Going
kind of like a shredder. Like, you know how the shredders have the
shredders.
Like, you know, for shredding
Oh,
documents.
paper shredders.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what kind of shredding in the kitchen do you have a unique
paper
appliance
shredders. They
for?
have the reverse thing, so if it gets a jam.
And I'm not going to waste one drop. Just like if I had a spatula, it'd be up in there. No. But I know there's things there, so I'm going to close that. So this is our juice. I'm going to just kind of wipe that and any beet splotches. I'll go ahead and get a... Cheryl may or may not like this juice, so just let's all be realistic on this. So I'm going to we'll put it in a cute mug that says Monster Crew. You don't have to drink it all, just taste it.
Make a really good Halloween drink.
You know. And if I was going to do it, oh, more?
There's a little something sour at the finish for me.
Probably the beets.
But the carrots make it sweet. Taste a little bit of...
It's the pulp that you're tasting.
Wow.
It's actually the pulp. So let's see if this does anything different for you. I'll make you a little glass without pulp.
Tanya says, don't wear white when you drink that.
Right. The fear is real. Okay. So we'll put a little in here and see if it is the pulp. There's not a lot of pulp, but there is some.
I mean, I didn't have any texture issues
And I'll
with
show
it.
you. So just from this little bit, I'm having trouble making it be where I want it to be. There we go. So there is some pulp in there. So try it now. I'm just curious.
I need to get that off of your little cute mug.
It won't stain. It'll be okay. Oh, carrot cake creamy. I actually have carrot cake creamy in the freezer. I just have to take a picture and post the recipe, by the way.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah, then that's yours.
Okay. I think it needs to be on ice or something.
Add ice. I think that sounds great. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is the pulp. And there is a little bit of pulp still back here, so I'm just going to kind of grab it out. It's going to kind of become more apparent as we move things, but I'm just trying to get what I can get. I'm going to go ahead, I don't know, let's see if we can use all of it. I should probably measure it. We'll do that in a second.
You need to get you a big measuring thing?
Now I'm going to lift this. If you can use a nice cloth and get
Up
any
in
of
there.
these, yeah, or a paper towel and just get any of that little loose stuff off. So there's just a few little bits and pieces. And then I'm going to try and come over here. Look, Cheryl's wetting the paper towel right now. And one of the things I tend to do, okay, so, and Cheryl, you tell me if I, so I just have to turn this way, right?
Well, that's really good.
So there's some stuff under here. I have this nice dish drainer in here, and I just let it catch all the stuff. So, and obviously this should be the easiest part to clean. You could also, oh, there's some pieces in here. I'm just basically rinsing this right now. There's one little chunk of beet. Can you kind of, are you seeing everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then just check that bottom part. That's done. Okay, now we're taking out these two pieces. Oh, that one's in there good. It's in there with the pulp. There we go. And you could empty some of this pulp into your compost. I just empty everything in from here. But isn't it crazy how this stuff just rinses off? Maybe it's because I make soy milk so much. This is so much easier. Now, this is where a lot of stuff is. Obviously, there's stuff stuck under here, but look, that's the thing that comes open. And even this comes out if we need it to. So, see, that comes up and out. And I'm just kind of surprised. It did come with a cool tool, but so far I haven't really had to use it. This one also comes up. See how there's some remnants of things in here? I often just rinse it, but it just depends. Some of this is stuck in here a little bit, so I might need to use the brush for that. Or I might be able to just rinse this water around real good. It looks like that's working just fine. So look at that. right? And that pops back in there. You can take more of the little pieces off. That's all good. And that's how quick it goes back together. And that all rinsed out. Now, I don't know if you can see all the carrot and stuff in here, but I'm just going to rinse it down to here. And then from whatever's in the drain, I will put in the compost. I kind of feel like whatever goes down, we have, we have septic tank. So I feel like we're feeding all the good bacteria. That's what I think, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, let me come over here. Yeah, you can see it in there. Ooh, that worked good. We're probably going to go back to the food processor in a minute too, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Doo, doo, doo. Ooh, yeah, apple. If I was drinking this, and I have some in the freezer. I've been freezing the pulp from this and any Okara I don't use, which is almost none. I use almost all the Okara. And then Cheryl took a damp cloth and wiped this off. That was it. That was the whole thing. And it looked like it was going to be horrible. And it was horrible with my old one because there was a little mesh strainer and everything gets caught in that mesh strainer.
That one was so hard. I remember just sitting there trying to scrub that. There was like 2 different pieces you had to scrub like that.
Okay, I'm going to just put all this in here because we had beets mostly at first. And so if I don't use all of this, you can rinse it out for me. Thank you. And then I'm going to kind of mix this up. So we have carrot and beet. I think beet is great for a color in burgers. And then another thing we're going to use, I've got a couple things I got from the fridge. I got some cooked brown rice if we want to use some of that. We could use oats. I've got a can of black beans, kidney, pinto, white bean, even chickpeas will work. Black beans make it look a little more burgery. So I'm just going to take my little thing and get the aquafaba out of there and let that work while I'm mixing this up. And I was thinking to make this easier, because my wrists have been bothering me a little bit, we might use the Breville. So I'm just mixing this so it'll be nice and incorporated. We'll get some of that lovely sweetness from the carrot, and the pulp is pretty dry.
Yeah, I noticed
I mean,
that
it's not super.
I could tell how dry it was trying to wipe this off. It was like trying to wipe dust off almost. It was just kind of would move from one spot to another, kind of clinging.
Right, and I think that's a really, really good thing. Let's come in a little bit. All right. Yeah, apples are always a good idea. Yeah, I think the pulp is beautiful. And, you know, if there's a piece or two in there, that'll be okay, because we're going to put it in the food processor anyhow. But most of it is just, I did one that was celery juice, beet, and this, and I tried to make meatballs with it. That's why I'm telling you, don't use celery if you're going to put it in something.
It makes it too wet?
No, it's stringy. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's what all that stringy stuff
well,
was.
actually, that one, I didn't do celery. I did beet greens, not realizing, but it looked like I did celery. So my beet greens were a little older, and the stems were just not so great. So let's talk about this for a minute, and then I'm going to go through the comments, and then we'll start making stuff up, because I've never made this before. It's going to be fine. If you haven't made something, take a deep breath. If it won't hold together, we will turn it into a meatloaf or a veggie loaf. We could add it to pasta sauce just to give it kind of that bolognese kind of texture.
You know, meatloaf won't hurt my feelings if it has to go that way.
Well, I was going to start and make a whole thing of burgers, and maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll make a few burgers. We'll make a meatloaf too.
Now you got me wanting meatloaf and taters.
Tanya says, as long as it's stuff dogs can eat. Chickpea loves the pulp. Max won't even eat a carrot. Mm-hmm. He is the least veggie dog I've ever known in my life. He won't eat a banana.
He'll go like this to smell it, and then he'll go. Mm.
And yeah. This is the Huram.
There you go. Whatever it takes.
Juicer. And it's their, I think it's their larger one. It's awesome. It cleans up great. Yeah, thank you. A Huram slow juicer. And I think, is it like the E70 or something? I don't know. I'm stretching. I don't think it says on it. Ooh, Serenity Bloom says, perfect day of eating for me. A big green juice, huge smoothie bowl, and then a fat salad with the perfect dressing. That is awesome. How's the warranty of that juicer? I don't know.
It doesn't say what model it is.
No, I told you it didn't. See, she doesn't listen. I don't know, but they should talk about that on their site. This is the first time I'm kind of using it publicly. So the more questions you ask me, the more I know what to look into to tell you next time.
Where's the paperwork? I'll look.
Where's it? It's over there. Yeah, I'm going to have a little juice now. I think it's really good. I love carrot juice. Oh, Tanya says, just don't put sourdough starter down the drain. It will turn to cement. I haven't done sourdough yet, so we're good with that. Let's see. Kale is fibrous too, says Tanya. Yeah, a beet loaf, right? Beet loaf sounds like
it's the H400.
It's the H400 that I have, Cheryl says. Okay, so if you don't have a juicer, you could do shredded vegetables. You just may have to add some more things to pull the liquid. So you could do a couple of things. So like if you were making latkes, you would shred your vegetables, salt them, and rinse them off. If you don't do salt, you could just press some of that juice out in the cloth. Or you could saute them until they're dry. There are all those different ways to do it.
It's a standard 1-year household warranty.
1-year household warranty is what the warranty says.
Yeah, for household use only.
Will Max chew on a kale stem? He won't even eat a full-on banana, apple slice, carrot. He will even say no to popcorn. Like he's lived a very full, long life. When we first got him, he was obviously on the streets. He was starving. We had to feed him 3 times the amount of food for 6 months just for his ribs to stop showing. And so he had gone into my pantry and grabbed a potato.
It was hilarious.
And came out, was like, doo, 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 going to hide and eat this potato. And it's like, no. And so he went from that to, yeah, today's not a popcorn day.
Yeah.
I'm not
and then
feeling
other
it.
days, like the days that I make just a small amount, he's all like, can I have popcorn, please? Can I have the popcorn, please?
Who rum, right? Portobello Rose says, what rum? Who rum? Which is kind of awesome. Oh, cool. Okay. I thought it was a different one too. The Nama has a 15-year warranty. Yeah. So that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to make some stuffs up.
Oh, it's the H400 Easy Clean Slow Juicer. It is
Imagine that.
Labeled Easy Clean.
So, and I've got my little food processor over here, but we'll move some of the stuff. I'm just going to see if I can get it where we're. Oop, I'm twisting the wrong thing. Get this kind of ready so when the time comes. All right, I think that will be close.
Do you need help?
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's just this one does it. It has micro adjustments, so you have to be careful. All right, so a few things that I know I'm going to want. I am going to want some flaxseed, which actually is here now. I could use some flours if I want, or some oats.
That is an entire drawer of various flours. It goes from here to here.
There's the flour drawer.
Oh, they can't see it.
Oh, change it.
Hold on.
The flour drawer.
Hand for scale. That's very big drawer.
Fergus bed. And this is usually impressive in full, but all of it's not put up. Okay, change back.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start off with a few things, and you're going to write down whatever I do, please.
Okay.
So I've got this food processor. This is a Breville one, and it doesn't really have a hole. Just the blade goes on, which is why I'm confident in doing this over here. And let's see. Oh, that's great. Angela's her old cat used to love tomatoes, watermelon, and honeydew. Current cat loves baby spinach.
Nice.
Ooh, black bean burgers. Excellent. Yum. Okay, so these are going to be kind of black bean burgers.
Should I write
You
that?
can buy, Tanya, you can buy yourself flowers. Flours. Yes, I can. You want that drawer? No, you don't, because I need to take everything out of there and vacuum it from all the flour that has fallen out. The spice drawer is awesome. So it is this one, and usually it's in alphabetical order at sometimes. Now it's half empty and up here for me to put away. And yay, happy vegan anniversary to Maxine, yay. And Cheryl, you need to take out the stuff to the compost because there's like a couple of buggies kind of.
Yeah.
All right, so let's measure out some stuff so I can give you some. So this is about 1 cup of pulp. And you can see this pulp is pretty dry. If your pulp is really wet, you are probably going to have to add more flour, more flaxseed, more things to pull it together. We're going to put in some beans too. I'm thinking we'll do 2 cups of carrot beet pulp. Now, you could also just not put any veggie stuff in it if you don't have any pulp. That's also okay. What I would do probably then is put in oat flour or something like that instead.
2 cups?
2 cups. Sorry, I'm going to need some measuring accoutrements.
I can't ever remember if that one's a 2 cup or a 1 cup.
That one's a 1 cup. It looks a lot like the one that's smaller or bigger. Happy holidays. My brain is obviously on vacation. Okay, so I've got some ground flaxseed. I'm going to start off with 2 tablespoons. And if this was wetter, I might even start off with 3. So say 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. That would be you to write it down. She's just like being nosy over there. Oh, Stranger Than Fiction was a really good movie. Oh, and James said it says the motor has a 10-year warranty and 2 years on the other part. Is that the Huram or another one? Or if you tell us which one, that would be helpful. Yeah, the spice drawer needs love. Oh, Robin says magical mystery tour of the flour drawer. That's awesome. Okay. All right.
That was ground flaxseed, right?
Yes, ground flaxseed. All right, so we're just kind of, what we want to do is create this mixture that's going to hold together, yet not be so wet and mushy that it's not going to cook in the middle. However, if your mixture does that, smash burger time, baby, smash burgers.
Nothing wrong with a smash burger.
They're good. So these may be smash burgers. I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and put 1 can of drained black beans. That's about 1.5 cups-ish. So if you've made your own, and here, I'll let you see in here. So I'm just kind of putting this in. Could you mash this up with your very own hands? Of course you can. My wrists and hands have been kind of giving me a little bit of heck. So why not use the fancy food processor y'all talked me into buying, right? Okay, so we're going to start off. Yeah, rolled oats would be a good way to do it. to add it in there. I want to see what this blend is going to be. I also have some rice. This rice has been in the fridge for a while, a few days, and it's pretty dry. So that's going to change how I might use this, if I do. Do you want to feel it, Cheryl?
Yeah. It would require lots of water to nuke it back to softness.
If you were going to cook it that way, so like if you were going to eat this rice, a lot of times what we'll do is we put it in a bowl, we add some extra water and put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. If you don't use the microwave, you can cook it however you would cook it. But since we're using it more for bulk and soaking up water, it's kind of okay. This would be an okay thing to do. Okay. The Breville is the same. Evo, I'm not sure what the question is. I'm so sorry. Oh, the Breville is the same as Sage. Maybe, I don't know. Serenity Bloom says, I feel you do not need much convincing to buy a new kitchen appliance. Sometimes that is true. I had put off buying.
I mean, do remember how we got the beast was meeting up with somebody for lunch in Connecticut, and all she had to say
You need to slide over a little bit so people, your head is cut off.
And all she had to say was, ooh, have you heard about the beast? And that was it. And then we got home and went to Costco and got a beast.
Oh, and Apple says she typically adds a teaspoon of psyllium husk and lets the mixture rest for 30 minutes or so.
What's psyllium husk?
It's the husk of psyllium. It's kind of, it works in a similar way of flaxseed, only it absorbs more liquid than flaxseed does. I always have flaxseed. I think I have some psyllium husk in the drawer. I may not anymore. I did for a hot minute.
It's okay.
But
you don't have to get off track of what you were doing.
Oh, I found some. So yeah, psyllium husk. See, look, compared to flaxseed, see how it's a little thirstier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I usually use flaxseed because I feel like more people have that on hand, but it doesn't really matter.
Did you put flaxseed in there?
3 tablespoons.
Thanks.
I'm going to make you rewatch this video. We're both in mood, so thank you guys for hanging out with us on a 4th of July. You guys have fun. If you have to head out, please do. If you want to stay, please do. You're welcome to all the things. All right, I'm going to go and blend this over here in the food processor. Woo! And then I could go ahead and put some, let's put a few spices in there, just that I know I'm going to use. As I carry half the spice cabinet over.
Do you want me to help you?
Yeah, can you bring more of those?
Sure.
Okay. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of ancho pepper. If you don't have ancho,
smoked paprika.
You laughing at my
your fire that you drew on it.
Oh wait, where is it? Can you guys see that? I can't.
Yeah, they can see that.
That's my little fire because I put it in the wrong bottle. I'm going to put, I love smoky things and the pepper gives a nice umami. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. If you hate smoky things, don't do that. 2 teaspoons smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon ancho chili. We're going to put some garlic powder in there. Let's do half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now let's do a whole teaspoon of garlic powder. And half a teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm just guessing with some of the basic ones. I have some tomato powder here. And that's just going to make it taste a little richer if you like ketchup. That can be a really yummy thing to do. There's actually this ketchup flavored sprinkle blend. And let's see, if you look at it, it's tomato powder, sugar, vinegar powder, and salt, onion powder. I'm going to be making kind of an SOS version of this in potions and powders, but we're going to put about a half teaspoon of tomato powder in there. I'm going to put a little bit of coriander, I think a half teaspoon-ish. There we go. And we could add some herbs. I'm going to smell it. That smells pretty good. If you love mustard on your burgers, you could add a little ground mustard too. Let's go ahead and put like 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast in there. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And now you see how my spice cabinet empties out so fast, right? And you could do a little bit of salt or not. I'm going to go ahead and probably put in about a half teaspoon of salt. You could use a salt substitute or leave out or add a little apple cider vinegar. And I think that's good to start. We don't know what it needs yet, but let's mix some of those spices in. And this is a little easier on my hands than me doing it. I'm probably going to need to scrape down those sides. So let me grab, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good. Can you guys see that it looks a little bit creepy like ground meat? I think beets are really good to put in veggie burgers that you're giving meat eaters, as well as black beans. It just is a little more realistic. You could also do, with no pulp at all, you could do walnuts and lentils. Lentil walnut burgers are great.
Tanya says maybe some miso.
Oh, some miso would be good. Okay, so I'm going to take a little taste. I could definitely use some miso. That half teaspoon of salt didn't do nothing. I think I'm going to put in, I hesitate to put I'm gonna live large. So Cheryl, put 1 teaspoon to a tablespoon of miso. I'm putting in a tablespoon because I feel like it really needs more. Oh, and we could also add fresh garlic and things like that, but I think we need another half teaspoon of garlic. So I think that's 1 1/2 of garlic powder.
Yep.
Another half of onion, which I think makes it into 1. There just wasn't quite enough of those flavors.
Yep.
I'm going to do another half of coriander.
That makes it 1.
I did half of tomato too, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm going to do another half and make that 1. And this is literally how I go about things. Now, if you have some mushroom powder, this is an umami blend. I'm going to be making, for the potions and powders, an SOS version of this as well. First ingredient, salt. But it's pretty, you can't see it. Can you smell it? Smell it.
Tanya was saying, do you have Wizard's Worcestershire?
You know, I do have some Worcestershire, and that would be a good idea. I like this whole crowdsourcing.
And she said, or a bit of tamari for that unami.
So I have this one, which is kind of a weird one. I haven't seen it everywhere. It is just water, sorghum, apple cider vinegar, soy sauce, tamarind, and spices. It's a pretty nice one. I don't really recommend it just because I think I picked it up somewhere weird. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drops of Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, now I got to try to spell that.
Nah, just put W weird sauce. Let's get that mixed in. And as this is blending more, it's going to be more wet. And I'm probably going to have to add either more flaxseed. That's why when Apple adds her sorghum or her psyllium husk, it goes ahead and firms some of this up. Because now it's too wet the way it is right this second.
Mirren says, if you don't have a juicer, can you use a blender and then strain it?
Absolutely. And you could just not use the pulp. You could do bean, flaxseed, and oat burgers. So this is just, and here's the thing, the spices I'm putting in here, we could put falafel spices. We could put meatball spices. We could put all different kinds of spices and make this into whatever we wanted. I just juiced carrots and beets, nothing else, carrots and beets. I'm going to add another tablespoon of flaxseed, which gives us a quarter cup right now, I think. Well, just say 4. And then I think I'm going to put in, let's see what floury goodness. I do have some oat flour, not a lot.
Teff.
Oh, you could totally use teff.
Because wouldn't teff give it kind of a sponginess?
No.
No?
No, that's the fermentation.
Only if you ferment it. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, teff is a nice grain to use. You could use regular flour. You could use gluten-free flour, but let's for right this second, you could use buckwheat flour.
What is that?
This is oat flour, but I gotta. So I just grind up rolled oats in the blender. It's way cheaper than buying oat flour. So let's see, I suspect that's going to be a quarter cup. I'm pretty dang on close. I think it's a quarter cup plus 1 teaspoon. Or let's say a heaping quarter cup. That may or may not be enough, but let's find out.
Oat flour, right?
Yeah, oat flour. And you could put just regular oats in here if that's what you had. And maybe we'll do that in a minute. Let's see, yeah. Still pretty wet. The flaxseed will pull some of it out. And I think this is going to be good as a smash burger. I'm also tasting it to see if there's anything else I want to put in it. But I've got some oats over here, so let's just put some whole oats, and that'll give it a little more texture again, since I've kind of taken all of its texture out. Almost all of it.
Marie says, I love this. I hate wasting food. I just started making my own cashew milk and use the pulp for cream cheese. No more buying $6.99 Kite Hill cream cheese. Wow, $6.99? You got a deal on that Kite Hill cream cheese. It's like $8.99 here now.
Okay, so now I'm going in with just regular rolled oats, and we're going to do a ½ cup. I'm going to do what I say for you to do. We're going to do a quarter cup rolled oats. I still feel like it needs more. So ½ cup, and we might even need more. These aren't going to turn into magic powder the way our other stuff did. But it will get chopped into little pieces.
Is the idea for them to absorb the moisture?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like right now, see how this can at least be formed into a ball? Does that make sense? It's sticking to each other, but not all sticking on my hand. There's still a little bit. Can you see that, Cheryl? You
Yes.
have to tell me because I can't see.
No, it's perfect. Like,
Okay.
the camera's doing great back there.
And so we just have to make sure if it got cooked, it would be the center. I think because you're like right now we're in between too wet and too dry. So we could probably, I think we can put another quarter cup for 3/4 of a cup total in here. And then you guys are going to see over here with spices spread everywhere and understand how I'm emptying my spice cabinet in a heartbeat.
Kathy O'Brien says the chili pepita Idaho potato veggie burgers also look amazing.
Oh, thank you. We love those.
Yeah, those
and they're
so
really
good.
easy. All burgers are easy. It's just a matter of kind of, see how it's not quite as ooey gooey, but we want to get those oats down in there. So if it doesn't go on its own, it looks like it's going to, the spatula will come back out.
Cindy D says, how about potato flakes as a thickener?
Oh, potato flakes would be great. Like there are literally 8,000 different ways that you can make veggie burgers. And I think because they're expensive and they're at the stores, we think we can't make them. And Cheryl, will you change the camera to the front camera, please?
Yep.
And then well, we're going to do some smash burgers, but then we'll also cook some in the air fryer that we can freeze up.
Marie asks, do you have any ideas for orange pulp for when she makes orange juice? That seems like it might lend itself to some baked goods.
Yeah, I think that'd be great, like in a muffin. That sounds like awesome in a muffin. It could be really good. What's something citrusy? I'm trying to think of like citrus tofu. You can make kind of a citrus tofu loaf or make a marinade with that pulp, pureed with some stuff, because the pulp will still blend like I do for, oh, this didn't do well at all, but I think it'll be okay. What am I trying to say? Like I do okara. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm using okara as a thickener as well as some other stuff. Okay, and you put the, see how quickly it all goes to heck? Did you have the ice cream scoop in here? Yeah.
Yeah, because it needed washed again, so rinse it real good.
Oh, I will. So here's a couple of things. You can always make veggie burgers to freeze for later. Aww, that is so sweet, Angela. Thank you so much for the super chat. And it's a pair lifting some weights saying, keep it up.
All right.
I'm going to have to lift weights now in your honor. Actually, I want to start lifting weights. And we have them at the house.
We have them.
I just need to watch your videos and do them along with you. So I opted out of brown rice.
And Betsy's asking, if you did use rice instead of oats, is it a good idea to add the flour as well?
It's just going to depend on the mixture. So here's how I look at it. First, we start with the wet ingredients and the flavors. Then add in flaxseed, psyllium husk, chia seed, flowers, things to dry it out is usually what I do. It's a little easier to go that way than put all the flour and then go, oh, I need another third a cup of beans or something, right? So it's easier to add more things like that. Okay. So we'll do two things here. And we have more. I have a lot more, so maybe we'll make a veggie loaf in a minute too.
If we make a veggie loaf, could we freeze it and take it with us on our trip?
Yeah. Or we could even make it in little coffins, in single-serve meatloaf coffins, because I found my coffin mold. Would you like to see my coffin mold?
That could be really fun. Like the ketchup with the ketchup sauce on the top.
So this is in my Ghoulish Gourmet book that you guys have. So this is a coffin mold. So when they come out, there's a little indentation in the top for you to put stuff like green mashed potatoes. And so you can make these and then freeze them.
That could be fun.
I'm thinking this October, we're going to have to make some coffin loaves.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's time to have a party again yet. Maybe next year, but I definitely think it's time for some fun Halloween foods to come back out.
And we did some last year. Okay, great, Betsy. Ooh, orange tofu for Christmas Eve. That sounds awesome. Make loaves in a muffin tin. Absolutely. That makes single servings too. And then you can even top it with a scoop of mashed potatoes. Is a really fun way to do that. All right. So I'm going to turn this on about medium heat. This is a good nonstick pan. We're going to make a smash burger. And while it's cooking, we'll put some more into, let's see if I can get a nice, I feel like the really thin spatulas all start to kind of get weird and lose some of their plastic. So I'm kind of peeling that off. Sometimes I use a cookie spatula.
Did these smell a little spicy to you?
No,
Okay.
smells spicy. Taste it, taste the batter.
Okay.
Sometimes you decide things smell spicy, or there's ancho chili in it, but that's not a spicy taste.
I think my nose just picked up all on that. It's good.
The juice is good. Okay, so we'll let this get going. Can you mold and freeze before you cook? Possibly, but you'd have to do it on a single sheet and then stack them after they're frozen. So I usually cook them halfway or 3/4 of the way and warm them up. That's what I do.
Hey, Doc.
Doc! Here, where's the... You should be running that part of the show. But Doc's comment. Doc, we making some beet burgers for the 4th. Yummy. We got some miso in there, which is not your miso yet because you haven't given me any. Not that I feel spicy about that.
Karuna says...
That's Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Have you ever used barbecue grill mesh mat for your air fryer?
That would work totally fine. I have not used it, but I've used things similar, and that would work great. So I'm going to cook 3 of these smash burger style, and then we'll put some in the air fryer. I don't think that's going to stay. Do you ever do something and you're like, that's a bad idea, but I can't help myself? Can you go to overhead for just a minute?
Yeah.
So if you don't want to get beet on your hand, you can take a piece of wax paper, or if you don't want it to stick to your spatula too, you can just take it, smash it some down. And that's a really easy way to make a burger shape. Just use your cookie scoop. Could I be like super OCD and fix that? Of course I can. I could have done it before too, but you know what? It's fine. It's really fine.
Did you answer the question about can you mold and freeze them before you cook
Yeah,
them?
I did.
Okay, I thought you might have. Tanya says, pipe the mashed potatoes in the beet loaf muffins and it will look like red velvet cupcakes.
Yes, I've seen that before. So we can smash these even a little bit more. So the idea of these smash burgers is that they get crispier, right? So they get kind of crispy around the edges. We're going to let it cook around medium heat for a little while. Like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ish. I don't know. We're just going to kind of see. For me, I test, and when they're dry enough for a spatula to come under, like if I start scooching a spatula and it scooches with it, that's too soon. Because it's going, hello, I don't want to be picked up yet. What? You don't
No, I just your animated movement was
it's seared onto your brain. And so, but when you can do it, it'll just kind of go under a little bit.
So Janice says, hi guys, I just joined. I like the idea of a cupcake loaf with the mashed potatoes on top. If I did lentil-based ones, would I bake the potato topping for the full time or add it toward the end?
I would do it at the end, either way. So I would make mashed potatoes start to finish. Maybe you made them the day before and they're in the fridge or they're room temperature. But then I would finish them off on top of the muffins. Does that make sense? And this is the easiest way. Like whenever you feel like, I don't feel like hand patting the burgers. I don't want, we all have those meh voices in our head, which are just annoying. But, but we all have them. This is a way to go, oh, okay. And then you just use that little piece of paper and smash them down.
It's so funny to me because they look like one of the scoops of one of the ice cream.
They do look like ice cream. So these make about 8 or 9, what is it?
6,
9 or 10 burgers. And some of that's going to change. I gave you exact amounts. What I would have done is just started filling up stuff with the pulp, honestly. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. That's what you were thinking, Janice? Awesome. Nice to see you back, Evo. Hey, Robin, how are you doing today? So, just for anybody who didn't see in the beginning, I made beet carrot juice and used 2 cups of the pulp to start making these burgers, and added stuff in the food processor to make it easier for me personally. Something I think you should all make it easier for you personally. And then we can soak this. Then you get your Cheryl and you ask her to wash it up for you. No, so it depends. If it's hard, if I've like made a mess, Cheryl is much better with detail work than I am.
It's true.
However, Cheryl doesn't always do this stuff, right? You don't always make the things.
No, I'm much better at cleanup crew than I am at make it crew.
But here, I'm going to give you the secret to making your life a lot happier. Add a little soap, fill this up with water, and honestly, it's going to rinse out. What happens and why things are so hard to clean up is that it dries, it sticks on. It's like, oh, I'm staying here. Like as if it was Okara in the stainless steel of your soy milk maker, which is the most clingy substance known to man. It's clingier than your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, I assure you. But if you add more water, and so I've got a little bit up at the top, so I want to fill it all the way up. And then when we come back, it's not a big deal. We do this with our dishes too, like just normal. Okay, I'm going to look at these for a second. Hey, Joseph. And these are smelling like they're, okay, see, this came up really easily. Let's do this real quick, and then we'll flip it over. See, look, it's got like a little nice thing, and at this point, I can smash it down even farther to be one of those really good thin smash burgers, right?
I love a smash burger.
And what's so yummy about, oops, see, look, you might be going, oh no, I've messed up my burger. Just squish that thing down. Nobody knows but you. It's fun. It's going to be delicious and crunchy. But see, if it didn't have this little sheen on it, it wouldn't come up easy. In the beginning, it's better if you can leave it alone. It's hard, I'll tell you. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit now. And Tanya said decades ago, it was drilled into me to clean as you go. It depends on my mood. And how sometimes I am doing 17 things. So literally, I'll be working on 16 recipes. Okay, so I'm going to let you see how to do this. Okay, you ready? Come over here. I'm talking to you, Cheryl.
I'm sorry, what did you want me to do? I was reading the comments.
See? Okay.
Smash them? You just want me to smash them?
Yeah. And then peel that up. Okay. There's a little bit of an indentation here. So what I would do, you guys can't see it, it's just a little bit. My hands are smaller. Now it looks like somebody patted it at the store. And then what you can do too, I'll just show you, if you want to be a little OCD like I can be, you can just kind of use your hand around to make them look a little more even.
Look at that one, looks like.
See? And then if this is only, you don't have to do this last part, I'm just showing you if you're feeling the feels. You can also do this and hand patty them. But that's an investment with beets. So, and I'm sorry, I've got beets all in my nails now and stuff. Okay, so I'll let Cheryl finish those, and then we'll pop those in for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're not trying to cook them all the way, but enough to freeze or put in the fridge for another day. Hi, Dilla. You had boiled, Dilla's saying, Cheryl, I had boiled potatoes and mustard for lunch. It was good and easy. That's one of her favorite things. Okay. I'm just going to check on the other side. Not quite. And don't put it in your hand unless you have little hands of steel like I do.
I don't know if I can make that one.
Okay, here.
I'm going to make a mess with it. It's going to go into the other ones.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there.
I think I might have smashed those too small.
Those are a little smashy, but that's okay.
I'll wash my hands.
Well, I have to wash my hands first.
Okay, you go first.
Somebody has to stay and do the camera, which I guess will be me. All right, here, I'll leave the water on for you. You got it. Obviously, we carefully planned this out. So I'm just gonna, you could bake them or air fry them, depending on the thickness. You really want to try and make them all the same thickness. These are not. That's okay. I'm gonna look for the thinnest part, put it up front, and then see how it's gonna do. That's our air fryer thing. I'm gonna put it on about 375 for about 10 minutes and we'll check it. That has, it has preheat added in, so it's going to be a little longer than 10 minutes. All right, are we missing anything? Use your coffee cup to press them. Yeah, that works too. You can do burger molds. I just love using those scoops. I use them for cookies. I use them for patties. I use them because it just portions things out so nicely.
It does.
Let's see if I missed anything else. Now we need to go to Kathy and Cheryl's for her 4th celebration, right? I feed you a beet and carrot burger. I would. Road trip. You know what? I would tell you though, if you guys came here right now, you'd be loading up stuff into carloads of stuff that we are taking to charity organizations. Because, yeah, there was a time I was going to do a food photography prop business, and we're cleaning all that stuff out. We're cleaning out food photography props that I'm probably not going to use anymore. But that's just one room, and half of that room is in front of me now. And then we have 2 big rooms to clean out downstairs too, plus the foyer and all up here. I'm just trying not to think of the mess that it is. But you guys, if you came here, I would feed you and we'd make short work of it. It'd probably be done today, and that would be lovely. Do you guys have any other questions? Like, is there a burger you're trying to make right now? I'm just going to flip these over. Yeah, that looks about right.
Those actually look really yummy.
And they look burgery, don't they?
They do.
Here, and maybe you don't want yours to look burgery. I mean, they still are what they are, right? They're still the ingredients that you all saw. And so the oats help to get up some of the moisture. The smash burger makes sure that the middle isn't super, super squishy, like you can feel by touching around in here. And get me a small plate and we'll open up one of these. And we can have tasties. It'll be exciting. That's fine. This is one of the pottery plates from Vegan Potter. The Vegan Potter. She says such beautiful stuff. All right, let's grab this one. We'll move this over here. Come in a little closer. Ooh. I would like to do one thing to this picture besides stop us making us nauseous. I want to see. I'm just going to try and lighten this up a little bit. There we go. You can see it a little tiny bit better. I think that's closer to reality. Okay, so we could cook this longer too. So this is a good test. Like how gooey. It's still a little gooey. It's got a little bit of goo. Not too bad. You want to taste an edge? And we'll cook these other ones just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Here, you want to keep it where they can see too. Here, and then we can. Mm-hmm. They need to be cooked just a wee bit more, so I'm going to cook these two a little bit more. Just because it needs to get a little less gooey and a little more crunchy.
Still taste the beet.
Yeah, you can taste the beet and the carrot. You can taste the veggies a little bit,
Yeah.
but you also taste the coriander, the spices, and all of that mixed together. The smoked paprika.
I think it's very balanced very nicely.
No. So what I do is what I just did now. I've never made this recipe before. Taste as you go. Test like the consistency of the batter, the consistency of the dough as you go along to kind of see if you need more or less wet. And Evo says, I want to try, that just means it's preheated. I want to try burgers patties with buckwheat. Are you wanting to use buckwheat flour or buckwheat, the grain? You could do either one. Hi, Diana. Just join and we'll watch the replay. Love everything Kathy does with her ideas and energy. Thank you. I do not, so I'm glad you do. And love you, Cheryl, too. And love that you did the show with Stacy. She did such a great job. I give her a hard time. We have some married hard times, but she's very good at what you're good at for sure. Evo is saying maybe with some shredded veggies in it. This actually does have beet and carrot pulp. So there's 2 whole cups of that in here. And you could play with it. You could add more. I think I'm going to kind of play around and see if we can make a meatloaf with this. I think that would make Cheryl happy. I'm going to flip these guys back over a little bit more. Let them. And then probably you can just toast up your bun. Actually, I'll stop these so we can heat them up again when we're getting ready to eat them in a minute. But that's all you needed to do. The grain, I love the Vegan Potter stuff. She has some really great plant-based stuff and like supporting animal organizations. She's just awesome. She's just awesome. Oh, Sherry, she's got the beet.
God.
I love how cheesy today is. That's awesome.
Cheesy goodness.
Okay, Joseph says peeling potatoes, going to mash them and try them in the Ninja Creami. What kind of potatoes are you using, Joseph? Are you using like yellowfin potatoes, russet potatoes, or sweet potatoes? Yeah, with pulp. So that's one of the things too. So I'm going to do something very similar to what you saw, but I probably will double down more on the Worcestershire sauce, some ketchup or ketchup flavors, and things like that, and we'll make a meatloaf. I think what I'm going to do too, instead of making it in a loaf pan, I'm going to make it like in a brownie pan. So it might be cutlets kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be
because
cool.
All right, and maybe I'll try, maybe I will try apple psyllium husk in it and see how that works too. White potatoes. The only thing, I have not done white potatoes yet. The vegan potter is just the name of a potter who is vegan. So if you look up the vegan potter on YouTube, this is some of her work. Rustic. Yeah, I like that, rustic, exactly. And with white potatoes, I haven't tried it yet. My only concern is that it could get gummy. So I would love it if you would email me or Cheryl or put in the comments when you spin it and let us know how it turns out. Mm-hmm. Brownies, make brownies. You could make brownies, honestly, with this in it too.
Okay, now you guys are going a little too far.
No, really. It would be great.
Don't ruin my brownies, please.
Cheryl does not like me to put anything delicious in brownies.
Brownies are made to be brownies. The only thing extra ever in them should be walnuts.
And see, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way at all. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm just seeing how these are getting kind of a little bit nice and dried out. And actually, I could show you these. So the person who didn't want to do anything and just freeze them as dough, even this is easier because there's a little bit of a skin starting to form on it. Do you want to touch it? It's not too hot for you.
Oh, yeah.
So that helps keep them from smushing together. So it helps it solidify a little bit more. So I could even freeze these, but I'm probably going to let them go a little bit longer.
Nice.
But when you make something like veggie burgers, it's nice to make enough for at least 2 meals. So if we were having people over, we would have made a double batch and still frozen some. And sometimes we send some with the people we have over too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not really different than zucchini brownies. Exactly. It would work so well. And chocolate beet loaf, that would be delightful.
Oh my God.
You had beet cake at the Indian vegan buffet, and you liked it just fine. A healthy version of red velvet, exactly. How would you make the brownies? Okay, so very similarly, I would use something wet to put in there. You could use tofu, you could use beans, you could use black beans to make brownies, you could use mashed sweet potato. You want something soft, we would add this in, and then kind of like we did this, then we would be trying to add flaxseed or psyllium husk and flowers to make it a little more dense. It would not have to be as dense as it was to roll into the meatball because we're going to put it in there and just bake it. Chocolate beet creamy. Yeah, this actually would be great in a creamy. Maybe I'll do that too. Maybe we'll do a carrot red velvet one. I did a red velvet one with beets in the first book. Cheryl's just like not happy. Can you see that?
I'm just like, I'm zoning out because you're saying words that don't make sense together to me. I'm really glad that you enjoy beets that much. It's just another sign.
I love beets.
Sign that points to your heritage.
We think that I'm probably Eastern European for my pasty white skin. All right. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah. Apple says, savory potatoes are a different botanical family from sweet potatoes. Yes, and also one of the reasons you don't want to whip potatoes in a blender or a food processor is it encourages the starch. It makes them very starchy and kind of unpleasant. But when it's frozen, and spun like that, it may work out okay. But sweet potatoes always work. I've done those a bazillion times. Ann says, Kathy, what are you looking for when you press the burger for doneness? Okay, at first, when you do it, it's just going to feel like Play-Doh. Almost everything I do that's burgery, cookie, or any of that, I'm like, it should be the texture of Play-Doh, where you can roll it up. You might get a little bit on your hands, but it's not coming off a lot. And see, like, feel this one, Cheryl? So that one still has, you can feel some play.
It has some give to it, but your finger doesn't easily go all the way down
But
without
here.
pushing it hard.
But see, this one's a little bit harder if you look at the other side.
Yeah.
And it's still going to have some give, but like on the
Like, see, I like the texture on the edges better than in the middle. This one still needs to cook more.
Well, we're going to cook a little more because then we're going to eat them. I figure instead of us cooking them all the way done and then us
That makes sense.
eating really crispy burgers. So you're just kind of seeing how you feel. You can always make one, like this one's definitely just a little bit too doughy still. And you could probably put these in the dehydrator too. I am not a raw food person, but I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work too. Is that? Yeah, Cheryl is totally like, leave my chocolate alone.
Please.
And I don't like plain chocolate. I'm not a huge fan of chocolate, so every once in a while, like we'll get something and I'll be like, oh, that's good, I'll eat that. But being gluten-free and vegan means every 10th dessert might be something that's not chocolate, but it's almost always chocolate is the only choice.
It's almost always, what is that, like a chocolate cake or a chocolate brownie? It's always.
Oh, and Tanya says she adds half a beet to her chocolate smoothies to get that red velvet look. That's awesome. Yeah, chocolate beet creamy. And so what you could do too is, if you were making this juice thinking ahead to all of this stuff, you could juice the beets, then rinse everything because it took no time, then juice all the carrots. You could do it separately and use the carrots and make carrot cake something or another, and the beets for that. I like the two together, and I thought it was going to add a really nice sweetness that'd take away. She's not a huge beet fan, so it kind of cut that earthiness in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, Daphne says, I'm turning her into quite the cook. Excellent. That is my evil plan.
Maxine.
Any food processor recommendations? I do love the Breville peel and dice. It is very expensive. I got a really good deal on Black Friday last year. So I was on a live, like we were on for like 3 hours. So I was telling you not to buy things you don't need. And you guys talked me into buying the peel and dice.
And it's the best thing she's ever bought. She just uses it so much more now because it's not such a hassle to clean up and stuff.
Yeah, I'd had one in between so I had a horrible one. Then I got the Breville, which was fairly expensive. It wasn't the peel and dice, but the peel and dice, you can actually dice a bunch of beets.
It was the sous chef.
The sous chef I had. And because it was already so expensive, though I did sell it to a friend at a discount, but it all worked out. But right around the times my wrists have been giving me a little bit more headache, I've had a couple of thumb tendon things happen. So being able to, it will peel potatoes. It will do all kinds of stuff that's been very helpful. If you can wait, maybe see if there's any sales on, I think Amazon Prime Day is coming up soon, like the 16th
and 17th.
I will try and put up some deals. I know we're going to, are we in class?
We're in class 16th and
so
the
maybe
7th.
early in the morning.
No, the 17th and the 18th we're in class.
Okay, so the
16th.
We might be trying to keep up with some things. If we can, I'll do a live and show you the finds that I find. Another thing to do is go and look in Amazon warehouse, because sometimes they have a return. So my original Breville that wasn't a peel and dice, I got for half price because it was a return. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say.
And there was nothing wrong with the machine itself. Had nothing wrong with it. There was a scratch
on the inside of where the blades are held. So the container that holds the blades, there was one scratch. Because I was like, it wasn't even like new or best. It was like good, we'll find scratches. And there was one tiny scratch I had to like take everything out to find. So this is a really good question, Ann. Could these go on a grill after they're cooked the first time? So like, you could put it on like a sheet, kind of like we did here. But now you can pick these up and put them on. They're still doughy, but they're not going to fall through the grill. But I would give them a quick cook, a freeze. If I knew I was going out to a cookout, this is what I would do. And then either let them freeze up or be in the fridge, depending.
Yeah. Or they do have grill mats. Like, remember we had that grill mat that one time, and you could put it on the grill and then they wouldn't fall through that way.
Yeah, but the homemade burgers, that is the thing that they often do. So if you cook them once or cook them halfway through, you have a much better chance of getting them to the grill just fine. Yep, Kathy says her dehydrator's in another building, so the heat won't matter. And I like using this a lot. I will tell you something controversial that we'll probably talk about another time is for the summer. As I use the Instant Pot a lot, the slow cooker, we almost exclusively use the Breville in the summer. And Cheryl's been using the microwave more, and I got some glass containers that are microwave specific.
She is so tired of me using those Pampered Chef
Chef
microwave
AJ loves
bowls.
them. You may love them, but what I notice is that every time they get washed, there's plastic coming off, and it freaks me out. That is me. That does not have to be you. If you have them and you love them, great. But I cooked pasta in the microwave last night.
I've also had those for over 20 years. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the new ones are pretty slick. They're significant. Like, I'm impressed with them. She cooked pasta in the microwave last night.
In a big glass bowl. So, and so all I did was put water and gluten-free pasta in there for 11 minutes, and it was done, and nothing was heated up. So I'm going to be experimenting with that as well, because I think because of all the plastic and all the things like that, it's made me nervous. I'm not saying you guys should use the microwave. I never tell you should do all the things that I'm doing. But, so there's that. Tanya says the Vitamix food processor attachment is great if you have a self-detect Vitamix, which I don't. I know Chef Julia has one and loves hers, and she says the KitchenAid food processor is good and durable and cheaper. I had a Cuisinart and a KitchenAid older when they were just ridiculous to clean up. Like, it was ridiculous. So I need stuff I can rinse and clean quickly. The Breville is very expensive. I expect not to ever buy one again. And if I had bought it 20 years ago, I would still expect that that would have been the only one.
Yeah.
I have not tried any vacuum seal blenders. I just haven't yet. Yep. Oh, Judy, that's great. I use a grill mat for my burgers and grilled veggies all the time, even in my air fryer. And that's a really nice thing you can do too. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Anybody have any questions before we're signing off? I may just eat my burger and then just, here's two things we could do with this. I have some containers. We could put this just straight in the freezer. I have some like super cubes that measure, so I would know how much pulp is in there. And then I could just pull it out, plunk, thaw it, make some more burgers. I could put it in the fridge and tomorrow make something with it. But I would want to make something with it tomorrow. Or I can make something later tonight. But honestly, I'm tired. I'm a little cranky. And I need to be cleaning up some more. So
it's going to be a cleaning kind of evening, but it'll be a little cooler in here, so it'll be a little easier to...
It will be. It will be. And
when it's hot outside, because we have all these windows with the clear story windows, and then the whole back of the house is basically windows, it's it gets hot. It does get hot.
These are pretty good, though. I think coriander and smoked paprika are really good additions. It makes it taste meatier to me.
I think they're good. even with the slight beet flavor.
That gives them that really cool color, though. And I think these look very burgery. All right. So, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Ooh, that is a good thing, too, Kathy. You can take the pulp you have left over and add lemon juice or maybe even a flavored balsamic, and we could eat it like slaw. Cheryl's like, that is my nightmare. That's a lot of raw beets. She couldn't do it. Me? I could do it. I could do it.
That's way too many beets to be in anybody's digestive system, I think.
Well, what's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to be like, Cheryl, I'm dying. Sorry, that was TMI. But has it ever happened to you and you're just like, you forgot you had beets the day before and you're like, I need to go to the emergency room? Tanya says, I'm hungry, feeling like a veggie burger now. I have Dr. Preggers, cheating. You know, it's a holiday. You're having a veggie burger. Take a deep breath, enjoy it.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Everybody keep their puppies and kittens safe tonight.
Yes, go ahead and bring everybody in.
Bring everybody in.
I know some of you guys are 3 hours behind us, but like
put on some soothing music for them in a room, and just so that it blocks out all the booming. And
if they have any calming snackies or something like that, we're going to be doing that with Max for sure. Yeah. Oh, and Evo says, I always have a lot of almond pulp. I freeze it and make cookies. I think I could also do, you could totally make burgers and meaty loaves and add it to brownies. You puree it in and make thicken your dressings. So I know I'm doing an Okara book next year, but I'm also wondering if I'm going to have almond pulp options.
I think you should add them all the pulp options.
But some things it doesn't work as good. So like almond pulp ricotta isn't going to be as good as Okara ricotta. But I think we can make some sauces and stuff like that. Yeah. Ooh, Trish says it's 106 right now in Roseville, California. Yikes.
Is that close to Sacramento, Trish? Because I feel like it might be. And you're shutting down. I feel like I need to wind her up.
No, and I feel like
we had thought about going to Chef AJ's this weekend. And
well, we wanted to, but tickets were like $600 round trip because it's the weekend.
And with us going soon to the workshop in Florida, it was going to be a little too costly to do both trips. Because
then we'd have to get a hotel, and we could get cheaper flight, but then we'd have to have 6 nights of hotel, which was more than the flight. Tanya says we had our fireworks a few days ago. Chickpea oddly loves fireworks. That's her puppy that she sent pictures of. Sherry's kitty hates thunder and fireworks. Ryan, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the lives. I know there's 2 lives in one day. I might have to go to bed early. And 30 minutes north of Sacramento.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, I have drugs for Boston. She's terrified of fireworks, And we have some, we
have the calming treats.
And then we have calming treats, and then we might even get his thunder shirt.
He has a thunder shirt, but,
I wonder if he'll fit in it now.
Maybe not. He really doesn't get that wound up about the fireworks.
He was really, really good. Like, at first, he wasn't so great, but his big sissy, who's passed, was pretty much like she just fireworks never bothered her.
The first few booms, and she'd literally lift her head up off her bed, listen for a minute, determine that they were fireworks, and lay her head back down.
Go, she'd be all cranky.
Yeah.
But we had a thunder hit in the backyard.
Yeah, a lightning strike.
Yeah, a lightning strike. Thank you. Thunder only makes the noise, but it was the thunder from it. Scared the bejesus out of them, and so after that they got a little nervous when they would hear thunder.
Well, the sliding door was open, and the flash and then the immediate noise, like both of them were just like So when it's big thunders now, he tends to go downstairs.
Oh, Kathy, you're so sweet. Saying that we could come out and stay with you and you pick me up at the airport. If I'd known that last week, we might have gone. But we also have to clean up
Yeah.
and dismantle our whole house so that people can stay here and that we can have a house that we love.
And we have to have some wiring work done on our AC system. And that was supposed to happen tomorrow, but it's actually been postponed to Tuesday.
But it's fine. So just so you know, a couple of weeks ago, like
a week ago.
it was a week ago when I was still sick, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Because you were in bed the whole time.
we have a little Nest thing, a Nest thermostat, and it was like, we are not detecting this power. And I was like, So I called Cheryl. And then they had swapped some wires years ago, or I don't understand the wiry things.
When they put in this unit, when the people who owned the house before us had it installed, I think that whoever was their contractor spliced some wires together to get to the thermostat. And what's happening is now, 15 years later, those splices are starting to like break up and come apart. And so we have to have all new wires pulled to the thermostat.
So anyhow, worst case scenario, this was like, it was almost 100 degrees.
It was
like
one of those
98 degrees,
it was a 105 day.
And it was getting warm up here. So like, it's a split level. So this is up, this is where the heat comes and all the windows are. But the guy came out at like 4:30 on a Friday, got us up and running. So like we're in
He was here for 3 hours.
and we're in no dire need right now. So we even told him, put us off in case somebody's air isn't working at all, to please just put us off, because he's just setting us up for the future better. So we should be good even if he couldn't come for a month.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
He's got it so that we can have air, and they were very sweet when they called me yesterday. They were like, "Hey, we've had some stuff come up. Would it be okay to postpone you guys until next week?" And I was like, "Absolutely."
And because really, I mean, they were so kind to come, because I thought we were just going to be without heat on the hottest weekend for a long time, and it was.
Or we were going to have to pay like $1 bazillion to have somebody come out after hours on a Friday night.
I was more worried about trying to have to take the cat and the dog to a hotel room
the
when
first
they don't
thing
share one room.
The first thing she said is, "I think if we have to go somewhere, we're going to have to get two rooms."
And I was like, but it is good. The guy was super nice, and I think it's going to work out okay.
Yeah. He has a game plan of how to bring it in and everything, so.
We're going to miss you too, Trish and Kathy, and I wish we were going. I really do. And yes, next time, Kathy. And then Sherry's saying, "I think you need to have a cooking class retreat at your house." I'm like, maybe when Max is in his next home.
Yeah.
Or crossing the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah. He doesn't do so
He
great
does
with
not like
people.
anyone in the house. So in fact, a lot of times we don't even have friends over because he's a special little neurotic bunny.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we would have the Halloween dinner, we would have to put him at the kennel.
Board him.
He'd board at the kennel, and the older dog, she was able to actually be with folks for the party, but he never could be, so we always had to board him.
He did okay the first time, but then he's very protective of us, and he's a little bit of a difficult dog in some ways, but he's great for us, so it works out great. It's kind of been a good life for him.
He kind of leans more towards a special needs dog.
Yeah.
And we've always known that, so we know what works for him and us, and so we just changed our life to accommodate that.
And I'm not saying never on the retreat, but probably if we were ever going to do a cooking class retreat, I would want to just rent a house.
Yeah.
Just because that way,
someplace bigger,
people could stay there. And we just have to see. I know money is tight for everybody, but I'm not saying and Apple is saying Fergus needs his own room.
Absolutely.
Fergus is like, yes, thank you.
Actually, I think he knows that Max is having a rough time lately. And today he sat on the bottom step downstairs when Max wanted to come upstairs, and he let Max lean forward and smell his tail. Not his whole tail, just the very tip of his tail, and then that was it, and he had to move on.
But usually Fergus would just turn around and smack at him.
Or hiss at him or whatever. But
I think he knows that he's it seems like the past week he's had some hard times. So we're just hanging in there, and we're
Yeah.
going to be providing senior care for a while, as long as he wants to be there. Oh, thanks, Sherry. We do the best we can with Brenna. When she was at her last 6 months, I just had to be wherever she was. Like, so she'd be over here at the kitchen. So like, you can see the couch. You can see it's an open plan. So instead of coming and sitting with us on the couch like she always did, she would lay over here and bark while we watched TV. So we'd pull up stools and we'd turn on the computer and watch our TV here, and she was fine. Then she'd be like, I need to go downstairs. So we all go downstairs.
Everybody had to go at the same time.
So we were even eating dinners in the bedroom because that's where she wanted to be. So if that happens, if that's what's going on a little bit, just know that our lives will be a little unpredictable for a couple of months, but maybe not. You have a cat. We have a cat and a dog. We had
3 cats.
3 cats. Yep, this is our 3rd cat.
I brought a cat into the relationship. You brought a cat into the relationship. So.
Irma just existed because she was the queen of the world. And she
was-
lived till 19?
Irma was 19 and Moxie was 18.
But like with Irma did well until she didn't. She almost passed. It was really serious.
We took her to the vet. They
And
said
then
they were like, she may not make it overnight. And we'll make a game plan tomorrow if she makes it. And then the next day we called to see how she was doing, and they were like, she's sitting on our lap, she's fine. And the vet was like, it sounded like she heard you guys. And she decided like, well, I'm not leaving. And then that was like, we had another 5 years or
We
so
had
with
another
that.
few years with her. The last year was hard. The last 6 months was hard. But she had like many cats, she had kidney issues, right? So she had a lot of issues. Apple says, I have Snuggly for my elder cat. We're almost always attached. I can't take her to the grocery store, unfortunately. I love that.
The other day we were joking that we should get Fergus one of those
baby Bjorns,
the baby
baby
thing that you can wear and carry the baby around while you're doing stuff.
That's fine until he gets spicy. Like, he loves it. He'll be like, oh, because I held him like this, and then he moves into the baby position.
He does.
And I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then he'll be like, let me down right now. Right now. You know how cats are, right? Oh, you have a Snuggie. Oh, I wasn't thinking Snuggly was like a... Oh!
That's the thing that I was saying we needed.
Apple, I can so see you doing that, and it is delighting me to no end. So thank you for that visual. All right, you guys, I can tell you are ready to go have your dinner. We're going to go make some dinner. I think I have some cooked potatoes. So if they're still yummy, then potato salad could be in our future with our burgers.
Oh, yummy. That sounds great.
Yeah. You have anything you want to say?
No, I think everybody should have a great 4th. And like I said, bring in those kittens, puppies.
Yeah.
Bring them in, put them in their room with some Disney lullabies.
It works for Mac.
It works.
Cheryl, we put on Spotify Disney lullabies, and even in the car, Max will calm down.
He just like goes right out. So, yep.
Oh,
everybody.
Lydia says my dog has high anxiety and is vertigo protective. I don't know what that word means, but I'm assuming.
He's only okay with kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, you guys, have a delightful rest of your day, and maybe we'll even tune in and chat a little bit tomorrow, okay? Happy 4th.
See you, everyone.